And we are back. Thank you so very much for staying with us. And in case you're just joining us, you're right on time for our gold conversation. And we will be focusing on all matters coffee. Now, today we are wrapping up our journey series on coffee farming in Kenya. And to wrap up this journey, we do have experts and farmers here with us in studio. From my far right, we do have Mr. George Watene. Also, we do have Benedicta Mweke. Thank you so much, our lady on the set. Karibu sana Kenya's Gold. We do have Mr. Jeff Koskei, and finally Mr. Hiram Maina. Asanteni sana kwa kukuja Kenya's Gold siku ya leo. All right? So now, even before we get to all that is set up here, najua kuna mtu anashangangi na umeamua aje leo tuko na hadi machupa imekatika katika. Before we get to that, so far kila mtu anasifia kahawa imekuwa the real gold. Farmers who had neglected their farms wameamua narudi kwa kahawa. Just an overview. Share with me what is happening in other agri sectors. Are we safe now that we are all running to coffee? I'll start with you, Mr. George.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Ngina. I think it's a very pertinent question. For instance, if people who are doing maize or sugarcane before are doing coffee, then what happens to the food that we used to get from the food baskets?
Right.
Those are questions. Others, it may be products that are not as lucrative as coffee is now. So, for instance, we are seeing tea and macadamia also getting out of the way, and coffee coming in.
Right.
And the prices are good right now, but the question is, will they be like that forever?
Can we sustain these prices?
Yes.
Benedicta, tuambie ni nini umeona ikifanyika kwa sekta ya chai now that coffee is doing very well?
Yeah, when we come to tea, there are those shaking economics in coffee pricing in tea, which many of the farmers in tea industry, they are shifting to coffee because of the high coffee prices that we are witnessing in Kenya and international markets. Right. And I think that has really impacted in increasing the coverage, growing of coffee in the country. And
so
it is also good to do both of them, because there is a time where you have to do both. When it is in coffee, do coffee, mix it with tea. Right. Because you know at the end of it, you have to get shareable income from both of it. Right. So I would advise farmers to keep tea, to keep coffee. Grow more coffee to add more dollars in your pocket.
To add more dollars. Tusitoe chai. Wameanza kutoa chai. Lakini tusitoe. We try and do both.
Yeah, we do both.
Right.
But now we increase on the farming of coffee. Right. Because it had gone down, but now we are witnessing it's growing.
All right. Yeah. Mr. Hiram, you're dealing with a lot of farmers in central Kenya as a professional agronomist. Hiyo ni mahali ambapo tulikuwa tumeambiwa wamekata kahawa, wameweka real estate, hawataki maneno ya kahawa anymore. What are you seeing happening there? Kwa wale wakulima ambao umekuwa ukitembelea, what is going on?
So I can say farmers now are ready to go back to coffee, where now each and every year we are now producing more than 10 million seedlings. Right now, when you go to Coffee Research Institute, everything is gone with the farmers. So there is no seedling right now. So let's say now in the next like 2 to 3 years, we are going to have a lot of coffee in the stores and in the auctions. Right. Yeah.
So now we have a shortage of seedlings.
We have a shortage of seedlings.
That is giving birth to another problem.
Yeah.
All right. Great. So I want to come to you, Mr. Jeff. I know we have a big market in the international market. Sisi ni watu wa kupeleka kahawa yetu pale Nairobi Coffee Exchange. It's bought by different buyers across the world. Are we safe working on that? Ama, we need to take the conversation on growing our local consumption. I know we say it, lakini ni kama huwa tunaisema tu because it's there. But are we treating it as an urgent matter? Is it even urgent? Let's just start from there.
Thank you very much for that question. One thing I can say is that, yes, we are safe, but we usually advocate or encourage local consumption of coffee. We are used to this aspect of exporting so much of our coffee. When will we enjoy the best of it? And then just to come back to the previous question you had asked about the issue of people running into the coffee sector. One thing I can tell you for sure is, you know, coffee is one crop that you can intercrop. So it will be a kind of a value added to to the farmer. Say that he has his coffee, he has his bananas in the same shamba, he has the trees and the rest like that. So it's a plus.
Right.
And yes, we are safe still when we encourage the issue of exports, but an encouragement is usually given to do a lot of value addition locally.
Right.
Yes.
Great. Mr. George, Jeff has brought up a good concept on we can intercrop our coffee. Wanaweza ishi harmoniously with the other different crops.
Yes.
Please, let's just start by understanding what are those crops farmers can integrate in their coffee farms. Itawasaidia kukuwa na some more revenue before we get into those crops that are a no-go zone in a coffee farm.
So two sides that are put. One is what we call cover crops.
Right.
And this is for soil conservation. So it's having crops that then are on the coffee and are ensuring that the soil is not being carried away.
Right.
And then you also have intercropping like now with shade crops. So when we are talking about shade, it's very important that you remember that the primary crop that you have on the ground is the coffee.
Yes.
And the shade is just for ensuring that you have the right microclimate for that, because some of the shade might also be of economic value. Right. So if you have shade that is either fruits or things like macadamia. So at times you find farmers being torn in between, am I going to look at the macadamia or look at the coffee? Right. So what we've done, especially on the issue of shade and agroforestry, is give farmers advice on what is the kind of shade, what is the level of pruning and management of that shade, so then you get the best both from your coffee, and if it's the macadamia or the mangoes that then you're having, you also get the best.
Right.
But avoid crops that share pests.
Like?
Because then what would happen, you find some of these crops, I think for some of the fruits, you find some of the fruits share the same pests with the coffee. So then what you'd be having is at times the pests will be shifting.
Right.
And normally for IPM, what you do, there's a period when maybe the berry is not there, then it means you can get rid of that pest easily.
Right.
But then if it shifts and goes into the fruit of the tree, then that cycle then getting to a level that is not manageable.
Right.
But what we've done is working with CRI as the experts. We have a booklet that has advice on the different kinds of trees that then you'd use.
Right.
And the economic value also, because some would be either for wood or timber, others will be for fruits and so on. And also, how do you manage the shade?
Right.
So what level of shade would you then want to have on top of your coffee, then to ensure you maximize? Because one of the problems we're having is we might say we are not having enough coffee, but the amount of kilos you're getting per tree, the moment we are doing 2 kilos with the possibility of being able to do up to 10, then that's inefficiency in farming.
All right. So average, ile mti ambayo inafanya vizuri, Hiram, inafaa kukupatia kilo ngapi?
Yeah, on average, let's say from 40 kgs per tree.
Per tree?
Yeah, that's possible.
Does it matter? Variety, kuna ule atasema kona SL28, ule akona 34, kuna mwingine akona Ruiru. All of them is even 40 kgs ama kuna zile more?
It does not matter. What matters most is about how you prune that tree and the nutrition that you need to apply.
Right.
Yeah.
So we still have a long way to go because a lot of our farmers are below 5 kg per tree, 2 kg like you said. All right. So I want Hiram also to tell us which trees are those that pengine wana share pests na coffee that you should avoid, na pia tuliambiwa usieke dhara napier in your coffee farm. Please talk to us about why that should not be done.
So let me support my friend Mr. George. There is some pest that shares with the crops. Like, for example, avocado, there is scales and mealybugs in avocado. Whereas in coffee, there is that one, scales and mealybugs in coffee. So farmers usually call them mudigiriri in that case. So
that's a small ant.
Yeah, that's a small ant. So there is type of scales. There is green scale, there is white scale, there is brown scales that you may find them in coffee, and at the same time you may find them in avocado trees.
Just to interrupt you kidogo, pia scales nimeziona kwa citrus. Trees, machungwa,
sugarcane.
So, yes, so nisifai kuweka citrus pia kwa coffee farm.
Yeah.
Aha, great. Thank you so much for that. Now I'm going to come to you, Mr. Jeff. tumekuwa tukiambia wakulima value addition is the way to go. Value addition is the way to go. We are exporting our good coffee, ni kama we are not enjoying the real profits of kahawa. Lakini kuna mkulima huko Kagwanja Shuali anashindwa yeye, how will they be part of value addition? Anafikiria tu hiyo the jargon of the word itself, the machinery involved. So how can we simplify value addition so that farmers wakuwe involved? Because kuna ka disconnect kadogo, right? So Jeff, how are we involving mkulima wa kawaida? See, wale wa estates na, you know, not estate farmers, normal farmers in value addition.
Okay. There's one thing I can say is that knowledge is power. And in most cases, people don't know. But if they can get to know, then the better. And I'm happy to note a few cooperative societies have actually gotten into this value addition.
Right.
And you know, in most cooperative societies, that is where we have those smallholder farmers. And the fact that they get into the value addition, the farmer gets to know because they will be using their coffee to do exactly the same. And I want to encourage, especially most of our counties, you know, agriculture is devolved. It's a devolved function. I want to encourage most of our counties to be able to encourage our cooperative societies to get involved in the value addition bit of coffee. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So as a cooperative utaweza kuinvolve wakulima wote. Lakini kuna mtu alikuwa anasema, unajua hii ya kupeleka kahawa hii cherry, watalipwa haraka. Value addition ni kama tutangoja mpaka hiyo kahawa. Kuna hiyo tutangoja hiyo payment hadi lini? Do you think that's just tumejiekea kawoga, or it will work? Kwa sababu here we have to wait for the coffee to be sold, ndio mkulima alipwe. Mkulima anasema kuna loan, you know. Will that work with that stereotype?
I can say tumejiekea uoga.
Okay.
And this is something that can work.
Right.
And just the way he would wait for a dealer who has bought his coffee at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange to pay, I'm very sure if structures are put in place and they are set in a way that this coffee is roasted, packed and sold, even let's say there's an order from one of the largest supermarkets, and I'm sure they'll be paid on time, just the way they would be paid if their coffee is sold into the auction.
So the trick is having a good marketer.
Correct.
To market your coffee.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
Also to add on that, I'd wish to add what Jeff has said. When you go around in town, in CBD, you will see there are so many coffee houses, coffee shops and coffee cafes that have emerged.
Yes.
That is showing that we are going there. The demand of coffee, we are starting consuming our local coffee.
Right.
So what we can do as a country, where I know most of the government is doing that, we need to increase the consumption by even telling our farmers we can do the local roasting using ikara ya kupika chapo. You put your beans there, you karanga, you chukua nde, you know the nde, the one we used to do mahindi.
Yes.
That one is used mostly. And our farmers will love their coffee.
Just like how Ethiopians do it.
Yeah,
very simple.
Yeah. Then you enjoy your coffee from your farm.
Right.
It is good.
And you'll be surprised. We have cooperatives that are already doing it. So for instance, in Nyeri, we have Odaya. Odaya roasts coffee. And what we are seeing is what we should be encouraging.
Correct.
Like if you're around Nyeri area, then you should be serving as Odaya coffee.
All right.
My own cooperative forces us to take 3 kilos every year because we roast. We roast as a cooperative. And then we are forced to take 3 kilos. So when I go to get my money, I see I've been deducted 3,000, and I carry my 3 kilos with me. And the thing is, as Jeff mentioned, you know, we need to train them to do it in the right way because there's no use of burning that coffee rather than just sell it in the coffee exchange. But also realize there is local demand in the villages. Right. We are in a project that is working with 4 cooperatives, and one of them has chosen Guru Coffee, like a guru. It's Gedongororo.
Yeah. All right. So maybe pia watu wapendane zaidi kwa sababu wataenda coffee dates zaidi.
Hata uko ushago.
And you've mentioned something very, very important here about the Ethiopian coffee industry.
Yes.
Where a lot of coffee is consumed locally vis-a-vis the export bit of it. And just as I mentioned previously, we have Kipkelian, for example, who roast their coffee and pack. But now I think the challenge is in the marketing bit. How do we get to have people like you who are used to waking up in the morning and having tea to have coffee instead? So this can be a national platform where we talk, or we talk in those county platforms, and then we have a real conversation about the coffee culture.
So more strength in marketing Kenyan coffee.
Yes.
All right. So Hiram, umetuambia Napier haiendani na kahawa at all. All right. So emphasize on that as you also tell us favorable grasses ambazo mkulima anaweza weka kwa shamba ya kahawa.
Yeah, Napier grass and maize are high feeder. They compete with the coffee trees to eat the nutrients that we have applied. So the best thing we tell farmers to plant stabilizing grasses like vetiver, and we have another one called bracharia that support soil and water erosion. At the same time, we can advocate farmers to try maybe intercrop with the beans. With all those leguminous plant, and also they can put maybe tree tomatoes.
Tree tomatoes. Yeah. So hiyo nyasi umesema bracharia and vetiver. Yeah. Those are the grasses that can go well with coffee.
Yeah, with coffee.
So we avoid Napier. They are heavy feeders. Hivyo takula chakula ya kahawa. All right. So I want us to take
to add more about that. Remember now weed. Weed take 50% of the nutrients applied. So if a farmer applies maybe 250 grams of fertilizer or manure, weed take 125 and coffee take 125.
Okay, great. So we are taking our second break now, but let me shock you. Najua mmezoea Robusta, Arabica, but there's another coffee which is the most expensive coffee in the world. Inaitwa Lawak coffee. Na inatengenezwa na a certain kind of cat. I don't know if you have that image of the cat. I would like to show it real quick. Iko mahali, do we have it? Okay, so you'll see that very interesting cat. Oh, we have it here. My expert, it's the one, right?
Yeah.
It's in here?
Yes.
All right.
Wow. Yeah.
So, so this is the most expensive coffee in the world. Mr. George, uliambia 1 kg can go for about how much?
$590.
Convert that into Kenyan shillings, ndo tushtuke vizuri.
That's about 70,000.
For 1 kg.
Yeah.
Great. So when we come back from this break, mi naona nimepata new business idea. So when we come back from this break, we'll talk so much more about CBD and also this very unique civet cat that produces the most expensive coffee in the world. And we are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Wacha tuendelee with our gold conversation with our experts here in studio. And I just want Mr. George, very quickly, talk to us about this very unique coffee that we are calling the Luwak coffee, and that unique cat that is producing the most expensive coffee in the world. Just share more light on that.
So I think the brighter part was, previously it was wild collected. So what would happen, people realized you come, you don't have your berries on your tree, then you walk towards the trees over there, and then you find it in the way it's being shown in the picture, where you have that huge thing. And then when they roasted it, there's the uniqueness. And you know, people pay for uniqueness. And then it wasn't a lot of it. So then, of course, that made the price. But I think the challenges we're having today is people have realized that. So they farm the cats. So you put them in cages, and then you sort of like sell that. But also the luxury people know the difference between the wild caught and the caged one.
So the cat, the civet cat, anakula the berry. And then
digest. Like berry ni ngumu, haiwezi digestika, so it just ferments. So it does like the wet processing for you. Alafu inaitoa.
All right. And that's now what we are selling at 70,000 a kg. Well, interesting to learn about the Luwak coffee. Now I want to come to you, Benedicta. Here in Kenya tunajulikana kwa sababu ya Arabica coffee. That is what is giving us that prominence even in the international market. Lakini ukiangalia wale people from the western side pale Busia border Uganda wameanza kufanya Robusta coffee because it's what is grown mostly in Uganda. Our ecological factors, the market of Robusta, is it a good good direction to go? Inaweza fika mahali hata huku Central Kenya tuanze kuweka Robusta, ama unaona hiyo future ya Arabica and Robusta in Kenya? How do you see it playing out?
For most of Kenya, we normally do Arabica, but you find that in some part of Western, like Busia, they have started growing Robusta. And I think it will be so much good if they can be brought on board so that they can do farming and know how to market their coffee, because they don't have systems. Our today's system doesn't have Robusta systems for marketing, because we normally have Arabica. We know we take it to the cooperative. After cooperative, it comes to the miller. From the miller, you appoint marketing agent up to the Nairobi Coffee Exchange. When you go to Robusta, we don't have that chain of marketing. So I think it's a good idea. Government and coffee directorate and everyone who is in coffee industry and agriculture to come together and to see how they can help the Robusta farmers in marketing.
Great.
We can have NCE a certain day, or in the catalog that we normally buy from, they include Robusta coffee for our farmers to benefit.
Great.
There's one thing about the Robusta that you also must understand, is that it does well in low altitude. And it cannot do well in high altitude.
Busia ni?
Busia ni low. Very low altitude.
Okay.
That's why you find most of the Uganda is low altitude, and that's why you find most of the Robustas come from there. So as for us in the high altitudes, the regions, Arabica is the way to go.
All right.
Yes.
Great.
And the price,
Which
the
is
price
high?
of Arabica is much higher.
High.
It's expensive. And
Yes.
Robusta is a bit more bitter.
Correct.
So you get it for your espresso. So when you go to Italy or Malindi, actually most of the Busia Robusta is in Malindi for the espressos you get there.
And I think there's a lot of white people there who have their palate is not. I think as we have a sweeter palate, kitu kali sana we are not.
And also as a coffee expert or as a quality expert, is that when you cup Robusta, it's rubber-like and it's flat. In fact, if you've tasted instant coffee without sugar, that is Robusta.
All right. So now nataka tumalize na Hiram. Hiram, I need you to come here.
Yes.
Tafadhali.
Thank you.
Hapa tuko na kama dakika moja. Niambie mkulima anaenda anachukua hii mkebe, anakata ya nini, anaweka wapi, inasaidia nini?
So before we come here, there is a lot of pests that attack coffee. One, there is scales. Two, there is yellow headed borer, white stem borer. Then there is thrips. Then there is berry borers. Now this is a trap to trap berry borers. That now we just come here and put some water here down here.
Okay.
Na usijaze kabisa, ifike mpaka hapa maji. Then pale ndani tunaweka kitu na smell like coffee.
So there's another bottle here. I don't know if the viewers can see it. Tunaweza katoa?
Tunaweza katoa haraka. So why tumeweka red? Ili sasa hii kamdudu kadhani hii ni mbegu ya kahawa. So ukiweka white hakata ingia.
Okay.
So lazima ikuwe red.
Alright.
So kuna kitu kakao hapa ndani, kachupa kingine.
Okay.
So it's here.
Okay.
Then,
so here is where you're putting something that smells like coffee.
Yes.
For example,
you
what?
can put either coffee pulp ama ile maji tu ya kuosha kahawa.
Okay.
Lakini haikai sana.
Okay.
So kuna wakulima wamejaribu uji. Ile imekaa kidogo. Kuna wakulima wamejaribu molasses.
Okay.
Hii ni kitu ya wakulima kujaribu. Then unatabua masimo ili hiyo harufu itoke. Then from there ukiweka maji hapa ndani mpaka hapa, unaenda unaweka kwa kahawa yako.
Alright. Hii inaweza service miti kama ngapi?
Hii inaweza serve miti kama 150 to 200. Na unaweka katikati.
Okay.
So hii mwisho 50, hii mwisho ingine 50, usiweke huko mwisho.
Okay.
So hii ni another way of minimizing the cost of production rather than buying pesticides maybe can harm environment and kill you also.
Right.
Yes.
So very quickly as we wrap up in 30 seconds, kuna hii coffee berry disease. Inasumbua sana wakulima.
So this is one of the diseases in coffee. There is a lot of diseases. Like now, there is Armillaria disease. There is another disease called leaf rust. This is leaf rust. Leaf rust that attack leaf. Armillaria and the Fusarium attack roots. Then CBD attack bellies. So this is the stage that now CBD comes in. Hii ndio stage wakulima sasa wako na pinhead. CBD inaingia hapo wakati sasa kahawa iko na hiyo milk thing. So CBD inakuja inajishikilia hapo. So kahawa ikikauka, it says advisable to farmers not to put it on the ground. Waichukue vizuri kwa kahawa, waeke kwa bucket, then wachimbe shimo, wazike.
Good, thank you.
Because now wakimwaga hizo seed huko chini, after now the next season, inarudi tena.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hiram.
Yes.
Because of time, we have to wrap up the program there. Najua nasikia kusema But thank you so very much for being with us today. Thank you so much, our viewers, for journeying with us for the last few weeks. We've been focusing on coffee farming in Kenya. We do believe you've learned so very many things on what you need to do in your farm. Thank you so much for being with us all through. We'll see you again tomorrow with another exciting episode as we wrap up this week. Till then, have yourself a fantastic evening. My name is Violet Sangina. Goodbye.